You will not see me until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. The word of the Lord. May be seated. So I remember when I was working at the bank, and I got promoted quite quickly into the department of investigating money laundering and terrorist financing quite quickly. As I entered in as just a general investigator, within a few months, I was promoted to coordinator supervisor for the high risk group in which I worked on, which I worked over. And in the process of doing so, I made an enemy, not on purpose. It wasn't I went out and sought that person for as I want to make this person my enemy. But and I hate to use the term enemy because I never saw the person as the enemy. But she did not like me. She did not like me because I got the job that she wanted to have, and because she had been in the company for a long time. She had been in that department much longer than I have ever been, quite a few years actually. And so she thought I was ill qualified to do this job of supervising them and to investigating terrorist financing that might occur in the bank. And for the most part, if you look at my experience, of course, I am not qualified as much as she did. She had a lot more knowledge in the department than which I did. And so she made some general comments to me about how I won't last very long. I'll be quitting in 6 months because that position, and for the most part, is kind of a door opening. People can't stand it, can't handle it. And so at the end, it was very hard to work with her because anything I did to help make the job easier for them, to help streamline certain elements, to fix problems that the department had and which I knew about in this money laundering and terrorist financing department in the high risk area, she rejected, didn't like what I was doing, or frustrated her because I'm messing up her system, as she called it. 6 months later, going through this kind of hardship, over time she kind of eased up on me a little bit, started to kind of be more willing, and then something bad happened. Not necessarily no one got fired or anything, but there's an issue in terms of a customer that was bound to be resolved. Had an issue that had to be resolved. It was one of her cases that she was in charge of. In the end, I helped her fix it. I helped her resolve it, and everything was good. Everything was clear, and there's no issue, no discipline or anything took place in anything. Then I was pulled into some meetings, kind of resolved everything as a coordinator supervising these people and this group. And in the end, I walked out. She called me into her little cubicle and apologized to me for being so hard on me. She realized I really could do the job. In fact, not only that, I was doing actually a really good job at it. And she realized that after all this time had passed and how much easier in certain elements her job was, and how it's making it easier for them and making less work in actuality for them to do because certain things could be done easier. But it was a very hard time because it was creating a lot of conflict, a lot of threat. By no means did I want to overpower her or tell her what to do or whatnot. There were a few times where I did. I know we have to do it this way, and that's the way we're going to do it from now on. And that's a hard conversation to have sometimes with employees. But at the end of the day, all things passed, she ended up easing up and starting to appreciate me as her supervisor, as her coordinator. And today in our second reading from the Gospel, our first reading from the Gospel, this second week of Lent, we are presented with an interaction again between Jesus and the Pharisees. As we are aware, this doesn't always go well. However, this one is not a normal occurrence, not a normal conversation, not not a normal test and resolve. This interaction between Jesus and the Pharisees had one important point. Leave now, Jesus, because Herod wants to kill you. It's a pretty clear threat, a nice warning for Jesus to get him out, to leave the area and don't even come back. At this point in time, Jesus' ministry, the Pharisees has really kind of come to a point, they're tired of him. They don't know what to do. But, however, King Herod of Antipas does. He already put Jesus, the cousin, John the Baptist, to death by the oppression of his daughter, being tricked. For the most part, Herod's fears are more of a political point. He doesn't like the idea of any kind of person that could challenge his authority in his monarchy and his kingship that he has. At this point, Jesus, for the most part, has not really been an issue to him. And actually, he still isn't. The fears that Herod has is more related to the element because there are rumors going around, as we know from Mark chapter 6, that people think that Jesus might be John the Baptist alive again, resurrected. And well, for the most part, that would really challenge King Herod. And that would really put him in a difficult position. Because it was him who killed him. And he already felt threatened by them. But in reality, the Pharisees know of this threat and decide to use it against Jesus, hoping Jesus would finally leave the area that he's at and never come back out of fear that King Herod would kill him. But they didn't realize that Jesus and his Father in heaven have their own plan, one that is divine. And Jesus responds to the Pharisees equally bold. He said to them, "Go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out demons and perform cures today and tomorrow. And the third day I finish my course. Nevertheless, I must go on my way today and tomorrow and the day following. For it cannot be that a prophet should perish away from Jerusalem." Jesus is clear. When the work of God is at hand, for him it will continue. Telling him to go back to Herod and remind him of what he was doing. His work is not one of a political threat. Casting out demons, performing cures, is not going to threaten any political establishment of the time. Herod would end up becoming more intrigued about Jesus. Not feeling politically threatened, but wanting to meet this great teacher and healer. Nonetheless, he's used to challenge Jesus. The one that truly threatened by Jesus is ultimately the Pharisees and their efforts. They feel the real threat. The threat really against him. Because Jesus is challenging their way of life. Their order of things. How things must be done or completed. He is the one challenging them. He is the one talking back to them. Giving them a different idea